is the There Is Another Way podcast from spencerbruce.com. Making life work as a creative. Hello and welcome to this week's There Is Another Way podcast. How are you all doing out there? I hope you are all doing remarkably fine. I hope you all had a good Easter break, whatever it is that you chose to do during Easter. I hope some of you enjoyed doing last week's creative exercise, going through some old stuff, finding out what it was that you are going to renew. Love to hear how you took the idea of renew and how you applied it to your work. Please do drop me a line. I'd love to hear all about it. Announcement time this time to remind you that there will be a creativity Kickstarter workshop happening on the 29th of April at 4 p.m. GMT. You can find Eventbrite details on the website www.creativitykickstarter.com. On Eventbrite itself, if you just search for Creativity Kickstarter Workshop, and in the podcast notes as well. Do hope that you will be able to join us. There are only 6 places available, and I really look forward to hopefully meeting some of you. On to this week's topic, and I'm going to keep it really simple this week because one of the plus points to come out of lockdown is the amount of time that I have been able to do walking, and walking has been a great way to allow my creative mind to refresh, renew from last week, and also allow me to go on thought journeys, things, just taking time out to have time to think, which is something that whilst I fully advocate, it can be sometimes difficult to do. And during one of those walks, I started thinking about what I'm doing here, giving you advice, what I spend a lot of time looking at on YouTube, what my students seem to spend a lot of time looking at, what a lot of people I know seem to spend a large part of their time online doing. And that is looking for advice on your creative practice, advice on the top 10 ways to get XYZ from the tool that you have, how to improve yourself in 7 easy steps. And of course, even this podcast is an advice podcast trying to help you with your creativity and give you ideas. Now, I do hope that the difference with this podcast is it's about me giving you ideas to go away and kind of kickstart the process if you're stuck, as opposed to a list of things that you must do. And I went back over the exercise to make sure that I'm not making a total hypocrite out of myself. I'm happy that I might be slightly hypocritical, but I'm hoping I'm not making a total hypocrite out of myself with regards to, I started to think, is too much advice stifling our intuition? Is too much advice stifling our innovation? And most importantly, is too much advice destroying our instincts? And the moment I had that thought, is too much advice destroying our instincts? I was like, wow, yes, there's something here. This is something I really need to explore, because I am a very instinctual person, and also creative people tend to be more driven by their instincts. Is all of this advice and the fact that we are looking for the secret, we're looking for the one tip, we're looking for the 6 ways that we can change the way we function within a program, the 6 ways that we can build a better XYZ, whatever it is, insert the thing that you do into this. And again, maybe this is open for discussion. Love to hear your thoughts on it. Do you spend a lot of time online looking at these advice articles? Do you spend a lot of time reading self-help books? And I know that I certainly have in the past, reading business books, reading relaxation books, self-help books, all giving you advice. And I just wonder, are we now in a generational period that we are using advice as a way of manipulating our way through life as opposed to instinct? Now, as someone who really, really trusts their instincts, and I would say I make the majority of my big decisions and even my small decisions based on gut feeling. Gut feeling has led me right throughout my entire life. I wholeheartedly believe that I get a feeling, I get a sensation when I know that something is either good or something is maybe not so good. And, maybe I've missed out on opportunities because the gut was telling me the opposite of what I actually did. But I really trust my gut. I really entrust my own instincts. And again, it's a subliminal thing. It's not an over-conscious thing. It's just something doesn't sit right. And that's my instinct. Because of that, I feel that spending a lot of time reading articles telling you step-by-step methods of doing something or achieving something, they're not allowing for that instinctual lesson. They're not allowing for that innovation because you don't know how to do something. They're not allowing for these things to develop. In a sense, it's not the article's fault, it's our fault as consumers, because it's so easy to get sucked into these things. It's not a bad thing. It's not something that's a problem. It's just people trying to generally help. And the more and more I've been thinking about this, is like, yes, I need to get back to allowing my instincts to guide me through my practice. When I'm making a track, when I'm creating a sound world, when I'm recording a video, whatever it is I'm doing, perhaps stop overthinking all of the advice and articles and just be driven by my instinct. If I like a sound, use it. Don't be worried that it's not the correct sound that the guy on YouTube told me about. If I am writing a track which has a section which repeats more times than normal, don't worry about it. If my instinct is telling me it's okay, then it is okay. Stop overthinking. And I wanted to throw this out to the podcast audience and see what you think. This is a topic for debate. Do you think that too much advice is destroying your instinct? Are you instinctive? Have you thought it through? Do you think that you are creating by instinct or creating by rote? And what I mean by rote is creating by the voices in your head from the messages that you've learned from the advice that you've been given. And that's what I wanted to say this week. This is more of a thought exercise this week. I want you to go away and think about it, and either let me know. It'd be great if you could let me know. But what do you think on the topic? And at the very least, I wanted this podcast to put a message out there of trust your instincts. Go with your instincts. If you are second guessing a lot of stuff at the moment, take this week, between this week and the next podcast, to follow your instincts with whatever it is, your artistic practice or your creative practice or whatever it is you're doing. Follow your instinct this time and ignore the voices in your head. Look forward to hearing from you. Do drop me an email. Love to hear your thoughts on the podcast. Please do head over to wherever you download your podcasts from and leave us a review. That would be greatly appreciated. But most importantly, take care, my friends, and I will catch you later.